Every single investor right now is asking the exact same question. When in the heck is this 24% rally in the stock market from just a month ago going to end? In this video, I'm going to break it all down. The good, the bad, the ugly, the data that actually points exactly where the stock market's going to go, when it's going to crash, when it's going to rally till, and exactly how you could allocate your portfolio right now to capitalize. Because what's coming right now, not many people are looking at. So here we go. Looking at the fear greed index right now, everybody is saying, Brandon, you say time after time, when the market is greedy, that's when we want to be fearful. That is not when we want to invest. And historically speaking, you are correct. We know that the market has been sending to the moon. We know that if we scroll down a little bit, we are above the 125-day moving average. The market is extended right now. But the data that we're going to go through, it might make you think otherwise about where the stock market is likely to go from right here. Okay, so we're going to break this video down into 4 different parts: how the economy is doing, how interest rates are doing, how the profit growth is, and how overall valuations are. Are we in a bubble or are we not? These 4 things dictate where the stock market is very, very, very likely to go. First thing that we're going to go through is going to be the economy, because if the economy takes a crap, everything's going to take a crap. If people don't have a job or if people don't go spend money, the economy is going to go downhill from there. Looking at this chart right here, it shows you the current unemployment rate going all the way back until 1948. So we have a lot of data right here. You can see that our current unemployment rate, March of 2026, is 4.3%. I understand this data is a few months behind, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to move that much from one month to another month. But here's the key needle mover. Do we see anything out of the ordinary right now? Do we think the 4.3% is good going all the way back to the 1940s? Yeah, of course, it's really good. Unemployment rate is very, very low right now. So that builds a little bit of a thesis right there that, hey, the economy might be okay. Let's go one step deeper. Initial jobless claims. This shows you how many people are filing for unemployment the first week that they get laid off. It's like, oh, Brandon, it looks pretty good except for COVID right here. And you are right. But let's look at this on a 5-year chart. Do you notice anything out of the ordinary right now? Is there a bunch of people getting abnormally laid off right now, despite all the crazy FUD that you see on mainstream media or people on X or people on YouTube? No, there's not a lot of people getting laid off right now. So that shows that the labor market is okay. The economy is okay. Going one step further again, continued jobless claims. Do we see that this is trending down on a 1-year basis? Basically, meaning there's less people week after week after week filing for unemployment on a continued basis. So, by looking at this data high level here about the economy and the labor market, it looks pretty freaking sweet right now, if you ask me. Despite all the craziness that you see online, things are okay for the economy right now. But this is just one of the 4 categories. We have 3 more to break down and 3 more that are even more important than the economy to give us a gauge of where we think the stock market's going to go. Okay, going into the second thing, and we are flowing in the order of importance right now. We first started out with the economy. Now we're going into interest rates. Then we're going to go into valuations. Then we're going to go into earnings per share growth. So the best is coming, but we do have to understand this data right here. Interest rates right now are 3.64%. People will say, Brandon, this interest rates are so high. Mortgages are 6%. I can't afford anything right now. Historically speaking, interest rates are not high, guys. Interest rates are historically low right now. People that were alive in the 1980s remember when interest rates were almost at 20%. What we're seeing right now is historically low, and this is okay, and this is bullish for the overall economy. If we take a look at the CME Fed Watch Tool, one more chart right here, and I'm going to flip it to the December of 2027 meeting. You can see by looking on the top, the current interest rate range is 3.5 to 3.75%. This shows you where we expect interest rates to be at roughly a year and a half from right now. You could clearly see the most percent is likely at 3.5 to 3.75, which is where we are at right now. So what this basically means is that where interest rates are at right now at this historically low level is expected to be where they're going to be a year and a half from right now. So the stock market likes that. We want to see interest rates low in the stock market because if the S&P 500 averages 10% per year, but interest rates go up and you could get a 10% bond yield, it's like, who's going to want to go take the risk in a stock market for 10% when you could go get the theoretical guaranteed 10% in a bond? That's how investors want to deploy their money, based on a risk adjusted return. So if interest rates stay low and even go down, which I think they will, It makes the stock market look more compelling going forward, and it also makes things more affordable in our economy. Buying a house is cheaper, buying a car is cheaper. Velocity of money in the economy is going to speed up if interest rates stay low and even fall from here, which I think they will. Looking at one more thing, well, Brandon, what about inflation? If inflation's going up because of oil and Iran and tariffs, isn't that going to make the Fed want to raise interest rates and keep them higher for longer? Looking at the data right now, 1.76% is where the current CPI inflation data index is at. Is that good? Is that bad? The Fed's target is 2%. So even with this little bump that we're having with oil right now, we are still under the Fed's inflation target, which again is bullish, which could mean that maybe we're going to cut interest rates more than what we actually think. So by looking at those two categories so far out of the four, the economy is okay. There's not a bunch of people getting laid off. The unemployment rate is fine. Interest rates are fine. Inflation's not out of control right now, despite what you see online. Those two things I will check the box as bullish and bullish. But now we have to go into valuations and we have to go into earnings per share growth because looking at this stuff is definitely going to dictate where the stock market is likely to go. And it's going to give us critical clues into is this rally going to take a breather or are we likely to continue higher because the profit growth is maybe very, very strong? Let's take a look. Here's a chart, here's the data of one of the most important things you could ever understand in a stock market where the profits are going, where the earnings are going. If earnings go up a lot, stock prices are probably going to go up a lot too. So understanding this data right here is critical to understand because if you don't understand it, it's very simple. You don't know where the stock market's going to go. So look at the blue line right here. S&P 500 forward earnings. Right here, do you see that it is going parabolic into the moon right now? And no, earnings are not growing at 10% for the S&P 500 going forward. You got to go to the left-hand side for the blue side. It's over 20% earnings per share growth going forward. So when you understand that this data is so strong and the historical average is around 10%, you should expect that the market should maybe go up a little bit more than historically average because earnings per share growth is more than historically average. So this rally right here, while it might seem unsustainable and impossible to just not correct and crash lower, when you look at the data helps justify how much the market just ran up. It doesn't mean the market's not going to take a little bit of a breather along the way. It will, and it's very, very likely to happen very, very soon, to be honest with you. But the story is there. If earnings per share is growing this fast, the market is going to follow that up and to the right. And one more data point just to confirm how strong earnings per share is actually growing right now. Take a look at this report. For the companies that reported earnings so far, the average growth rate for them so far for earnings is 27% year over year. Again, remember the average is 10% per year, and that's why the S&P averages 10% per year in the last 50 years. Of course, some years are more, some years are less, but on average it's 10% per year. So when you're seeing earnings per share growth abnormal, meaning beyond average, it's way better than average, we should expect better returns going forward in the stock market. So as long as the profits continue to grow and go up and to the right, like on this chart, the dark line is the earnings per share growth. You're seeing this vertical acceleration right here. As long as the story remains there of earnings per share going up and to the right, the market is going to keep going up and to the right, of course, in a very, very bumpy way. So do not think that you must sell. Do not think that you must hedge. Do not think that a 50% crash is guaranteed. Of course, it's possible. Of course, there's going to be a crap ton of volatility. I'm not saying we're not going to get volatility. We will. And the market right now, it's definitely less compelling than what it was down here. So it's no surprise that as this market's been running up, I've been trimming, I've been taking profits, I've been de risking a little bit. But I'm still very, very bullishly allocated right now just with less options overall. And don't worry, we're going to take a look at my stock sheet in just a second to go through some of the bullish things and bearish things that I see out there right now. But overall, the three things that we went through so far out of the four, economy is okay, interest rates are okay, and earnings per share growth is very, very strong. Now, the last thing that we have to dive into is valuations, because even though all those three things look good so far, if the market is a bubble, sure, we have good profit growth and good economy and good interest rates, but if the market's a bubble, it's a bubble. It's going to go down if it's a bubble. So let's dive into that part right now. I mean, honestly, looking at the data so far, guys, it seems to be justified what this market move is doing. But this chart right here did just update. We haven't went through it in a few weeks, and it is critical to understand because this might bring down the entire party. So this chart right here shows you the S&P 500 price earnings ratio level going all the way back to 1986. The blue lines right here correspond to the price earnings ratio level. Here's what we got to understand. When you have explosive earnings per share growth, which is what we have right now, And you get that for a very, very fair valuation level, like what was happening right here in 2009. The future returns from that point going forward were super, super strong. Like this market made a humongous move from 2009 to right now. We get it because we had the double bullish growth engine right here. Room for price earnings ratio level to go from 10 to 20, which is where it's at right now, basically, and room for earnings per share to obviously explode to the upside. So there was a double bullish tailwind right here for the stock market in 2009. But where we're at right now, how much more can the PE ratio actually expand? Like again, right here, it went from 10 to 20. It's not going to go from 20 to 40 right now because we would be in a full-blown bubble. And if you look at the bubble of 2000, it only went to 25 for the S&P 500. It didn't go really anything higher than that. So when you see that right now we're about at 21, just say, it's like it's not going to go much higher. So the only upside left in the market from this point going forward is likely to be earnings per share going up and to the right. And again, by looking at this data right here, it's like, yeah, Brandon, the earnings per share growth is really, really strong. But just think about this as flying an airplane at 40,000 feet with one engine running full power right now. That engine is full thrust, it's working good, we're staying at 40,000 feet. But if that engine blows out, we're not going to have a second engine to back us up of, hey, can we expand our price earnings ratio level higher to save us? So the story is going to continue. The show is going to go on while earnings per share is going up and to the right. But if earnings per share slows down, or we get companies that start to guide that, hey, we're not going to be spending as much on data center build out. We're not going to be seeing as much efficiency from AI. We're just overall not seeing a rosy picture in the economy anymore. You're going to see the S&P 500 P ratio contract, and it's probably going to go from 21 where it's at right now to somewhere in the upper teens, like 16, 17, 18 potentially. So that could be a 25% correction in the stock market. Now, with that being said, looking at this chart right here, the NASDAQ going all the way back to before the dot-com crash. We had the dot-com crash. We had 2008, which you can't even see 2008 on the chart right here just because how much the profit growth went up, and it just makes this look like nothing. We had post-COVID when interest rates went up to 5% from zero because inflation went to 9%. Stock market corrected 35% on that. We had other various catalysts in the market. We had Liberation Day tariffs. We had the Iran situation right now. Now the market's up 26% off of that low. There's always going to be things that cause hiccups and delays in the market going forward. But the key thing is this: allocate to good companies at good prices, allocate to good ETFs when they're at good prices. Right now, the overall stock market and economy is a little bit hot. So if we see a little bit of a correction, if we see a little bit of a pullback, I would definitely see that as a buying opportunity. 1 year chart right here on the NASDAQ. It's likely that we're going to give back some of this rally right here. This rally is not sustainable. It's not going to continue like this forever. It's almost impossible to keep growing at this rate right here. But you can't stress out about, oh my God, we went up 25%, we gave back 10%. What you should stress about is looking at a 5 year chart and zooming out. Like we went from here to here with a lot of bumps in the middle. Looking at the all chart right here, going from 1999 to right now, we went from here to here with a lot of bumps in the middle. So time in the market beats timing the market. Buy good companies at good prices, build your base portfolio, S&P 500, NASDAQ. And if you want to buy individual stocks, which I have a fair amount of my portfolio in right now, if you want to dabble in single stocks, be sure to check out my stock sheet. This, of course, updates in real time all day long, like literally real time. It's going to update every few seconds here as share prices change. The goal is to find a good company at a good price, which is a good valuation, with good growth, with a solid moat, with execution risk that's not really going to be that hard, and an overall backdrop of a good economy. I have an economic scorecard, as you guys know. If we take a look at the overall score for the economy right now, based on everything that we basically just went through right now, and there's various other things that I look at, you can see we went through initial jobless claims, continued jobless claims, the unemployment rate. We went through corporate earnings, and they're very, very strong right now. We went through interest rates. We went through CPI inflation. We went to trueflation. Based on the totality of that data, the economy, I give it a 153 out of 200 right now. So when you have that backdrop of a good economy, all you got to do is simply find a good company at a good price, and you will likely do very, very fine. If I re-update this right now, my top dogs to invest in right now and hold for a few years and potentially do options on is going to be the S&P 500, which is VOO. Meta is still top dog. Triple Q, the NASDAQ, is still top dog. NVIDIA, TSM, Robinhood, Microsoft, Berkshire Hathaway, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab, SoFi, United Health. The list goes on, guys. But understand that just about a month ago, when the market, I know I'm in a way, but when the market was down here on the lows of this Iran situation, if we would have looked at my stock sheet then, you would see that there was a lot more companies with a score of a 75 or higher. And 75 or higher basically indicates it is a buy. It's time to allocate. The higher the score, I'm going to buy some shares. The higher the score from there, I might go sell some puts. And the higher the score from there, I might go buy calls. But overall, my portfolio, like I said, I have been de-risking. I have been trimming. I have been taking profits. It doesn't mean that I am selling and running for the hills. I am not. I am very, very bullishly allocated right now. But a logical investor is not going to get emotional right now. A logical investor understands that while the economy is okay, interest rates are okay, the labor market's okay, earnings per share growth is okay, valuations are a little bit hot. So my prediction for the stock market is we're not going to get a humongous move like this for the rest of the year. I expect some sideways choppy motion, and we're going to be able to use that to capitalize on because the earnings per share story is going to be there. If I were to show you the earnings per share growth line right now on this chart, this is somewhere where we are at right now. Market back here was a little bit expensive. No surprise it took a breather from there as the profits were growing. Market down here was cheap. No surprise that we had a very aggressive V-shaped rally right here. But now that the market is a little bit above the earnings per share growth line, it shouldn't shock you and surprise you if returns are muted from here going forward. It is justified. I feel like the entire Iran situation, if we get a positive breakthrough on that, like a legitimate deal, it seems like it's already priced into the market right here, along with very, very good earnings that we're getting so far. So while the market in the long term is going to trend up and to the right, the short term, it's like a lot is already priced in right now. So I wouldn't be trying to do like short duration bullish options right now. The move already happened. I think the majority of the move has been missed if you want to buy right now. So that's why it's critical to keep your ratios in check, keep your emotions in check, keep your pants on, and only buy the cream of the crop right now and ensure that you have plenty of room to capitalize in volatility going forward. So that's the video right there. Overall, things look pretty good. If you got value from this, like, subscribe, hype, drop a comment, let me know what you think. And future video ideas, I'm always open to what you guys want me to talk about. I will cover it. With that being said, watch a video right here about stock options. It will completely change your life how I do options, and I'll see you guys there.